It was the crest of their wave, June last year, the European elections. 1 in 5 of those who voted chose UKIP. They got 2 MEPs in the Midlands and were ahead of Labour. They jib at being called a minor party.
It's time the voters understood that there's really only one party in Westminster at the present time. It's called the Lib Lab Con, and it has one policy, because it's a single-issue party. It believes we should be run by Europe. So, if you want domestic policy in this country being controlled at Westminster, you have to vote UKIP, because the others are giving it all away to be done in Brussels, and 75% of our law is now made in Brussels.
But he's doing well in European elections, likely to mean the same in a general election. Let's look at the comparisons. In the West Midlands, in the Euro election of 2004, UKIP polled 251,000 votes, a share of 17.5%. The following year, in the general election, they were just short of 78,000 votes, just 3%. But UKIP don't appear to be helping themselves. They're riven with internal strife. Nikki Sinclaire, who became an MEP last year, has been expelled from the party. She had refused to sit with the Europe of Freedom and Democracy grouping in the European Parliament. Some of the group's members, she said, had extremist views which she can't accept. She was picked to fight Meriden for UKIP, but unless the party takes her back, she could be standing there as an independent.
I do stick up for my principles, and I decided to, rather stick up for my principles rather than toe the party line, which is actually, I think, some of the electors will understand and respect, because all too often with their MPs in Parliament, they vote with the party whip, and they ignore the electors. And I think with me, they will have someone completely different.
The British National Party also polled their best in the Euro election. But in its stronghold, Stoke-on-Trent, Alby Walker, who was leader of the 9-strong group of BNP councillors there, quit in January. He's now standing as an independent candidate against the BNP's deputy leader, Simon Darby. Mr Walker was scathing about the party.
There's a vein of Holocaust denying within the BNP that I cannot identify myself with. They've still got senior members of the BNP who will be candidates in the general election that have Nazi-esque sympathies. They're good at stirring up emotions, but they really have no answers. And I think when they do get elected as politicians, they're quickly exposed. Seeing what's happened with Nick Griffin has pushed me towards leaving the party. He's using the party as some kind of vehicle to make himself rich and famous.
It should be obvious to everybody that this is somebody who's a bit disillusioned with the party, as many people within other parties become disillusioned, stuck out for themselves and want to become an independent candidate. The chances of him actually becoming an independent MP for Stoke-on-Trent are zero. And thankfully most of the electorate there in Stoke realise that if anybody is going to replace the Labour Party there, it can only be the British National Party.
With MP Mark Fisher standing down, Labour have to choose a candidate to defend their 10,000 majority. But they too are in turmoil. 3 constituency party members are suing the party after being rejected as candidates. If splits in political parties really do affect voters' intentions, Stoke-on-Trent will surely be a place to watch.